Aging isn't about slowing down, it's about stepping into your power. Welcome to Don't Let the Old Lady In, the podcast where we challenge outdated beliefs about getting older and embrace wellness, self-love, and confidence. Your host is Lorie Gardner, a registered nurse and nationally board-certified health and wellness coach, and she is your guide on this journey to vibrant, mindful living. Each episode will explore topics that nourish your mind, body, and spirit, and how to navigate health issues in the healthcare system as you age, so you can live with energy, purpose, and joy. Let's get started. Here's your host, Lorie Gardner. Welcome, ladies, to Don't Let the Old Lady In podcast 2026 version. I hope you all had a fantastic holiday and that you're looking forward to amazing things going on in 2026. Let's honor first. Let's take a deep breath. Nice deep breath. Deep breath and honor yourself. Honor for all that you went through in 2026, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because it happens, I know. And let's also take a breath and get excited about what we can create in 2026 and maybe even handle these challenges even better with less downtime. Who wants that? But I want to ask you, if you're watching this, I should say listening to this, and something in you feels tired or restless, or you're quietly asking, is this all there is to this aging process? Is this all there is? Sometimes people have a lot of holiday letdown. If you're in that position, you know what? I want you to know you're supported, and this episode is for you. Today, I do want to talk about something deeper than aging, deeper than habits, deeper than goals. I want to talk about coming home to yourself, because nothing is wrong with you, but something may be misaligned. We may have forgotten that younger, amazing person. We may have forgotten those little girl traits that could actually come back and make us have more of a full life and become more whole. That's what I look for 2026. You know, January is not a time for me to make all these resolutions and these goals. No. I like to reflect. Let's reflect on what you did well last year and what you might want to improve on. But also, where can you dig deep and pull out some really good stuff you got inside of you? Because there is a lot of stuff. I talk to a lot of clients, and I just came up with this because it resonates with a lot of what they say. This is the client speaking. She kept wondering if this was just aging. The low energy, the dimmed confidence, the quiet resignation that maybe this was just how life feels now and will continue just like this. But it really wasn't aging. It was self-abandonment disguised as responsibility. Let's think about that a minute. Self-abandonment disguised as responsibility. When she stopped ignoring her needs, her energy returned, her confidence followed, and her body finally exhaled. So this episode, ladies, is for the woman who knows something's off, but doesn't want to waste another year calling it normal. Okay? We're used to, as caregivers and women and workers and hustlers, we are doing everything for everybody else. And there comes a point, a lot of times in midlife and beyond, that we say, wait a minute, what about me? So how about 2026 is all about me and coming home to yourself? So, where is that moment we realize that we left ourselves? Where is that moment, ladies? You know, many women reach midlife doing everything that we're supposed to do. We are the mother. We do everything we're supposed to. We're actually sometimes complete expectations that were given to us as a child in another generation that may not even be appropriate in this generation. But you showed up. You cared for others. You pushed through. You stayed strong. And one day, you just wake up and realize you've been living from an old version of yourself, or a version that isn't necessarily truly who you are. Maybe a version who learned how to survive, but not one that was free to evolve and change, right? Ladies, this is not failure. This is just awareness. And I always talk about when we want to make a change, we want to do an improvement, we have to become aware first. That's why I usually take January to become more aware of myself and what it is that I want. Become aware of what happened in 2025 and what I want to improve on for 2026. 26. So here's a truth I want you to sit with for a little bit. Our gold lives in our pain. How about that? Our gold lives in our pain. Because for every experience, no matter how messy, holds our wisdom. It holds wisdom. It holds our growth, our way to learn. But wisdom really doesn't change life until it's embodied. We really have to embrace that wisdom and what we learned in order to grow. Until then, we just repeat the same relationships, the same emotional reactions, the same beliefs about who we are and what's possible. Same old, same old. We have to embody that wisdom and really ponder it for January and learn from it and grow from it. Maybe now, at the start of 2026, you could ponder the following questions that might help you do this thing that I tend to do every year. What can I let go of to feel less burdened? Another one you could ask yourself is, does my heart feel light or heavy? If heavy, what can I do to feel more love or have more beauty in my life? And another question is, what can I release? Think about what you can release, ladies, in this month of pondering of January and hibernation in the winter if you're in the cold weathers. Think about releasing doubt, fear, negativity, unkindness towards yourself. Think about what you can change in your life that will provide your heart with more peace and joy. So this is a really good thing to do during January. I really think we have to become more aware before we can really lay the foundation of what we want to push forward for and all the exciting things we can do and handle and change and grow from the rest of the year. My mantra, don't let the old lady in, so that takes a little bit of belief work for sure. I work with clients all the time because these beliefs, ladies, they're ingrained in our brains. They really, really are. And they do say that the more we think a thought, it becomes more literally, physically in the grooves of our brain. So it takes work to get it out. But we're going to do that work, aren't we, ladies, in 2026? But these beliefs are where the old lady sneaks in, and we don't want to let her sneak in, do we? It's not because you're of your age. It's because of your beliefs. Beliefs like, I'm too old to change. This is just how life turned out. What am I going to do about it? Or, it's just easier to stay comfortable. Why should I rock the boat? Or, I should be like my mother and everybody else. But you know what, ladies? I'm going to say something here. Comfort is not peace. Comfort is familiarity. Okay? Comfort is not peace. It's just familiarity. And your nervous system will always choose the familiar, even pain, over unfamiliar freedom. That uneasiness, sometimes in January, ladies, I'm not going to lie, I get a little uneasy because I'm not going to stop growing. But let me tell you something, growing can put you in an uneasy state where you're like, whoa, I just fell off my comfort zone and I don't know how to get back on. I've really jumped here, I've jumped there. But stick with the uneasiness. That's where the growth happens. You got to interrupt these patterns, right? So when I say coming home to yourself, it's kind of, you're still yourself. I'm not saying create a new person. I'm saying just maybe like a little bit of an identity shift. You're not rejecting your past. Always honor your past. I look back at my past and going, hey, listen, I made plenty of mistakes. You name them. I might have done them. A little reckless, free, then became very responsible. But I just honor it all. It was just my journey, and I hope you do too. It just means we don't reject the past. We tell the truth about it. We look at it truthfully, right? And it means releasing expired identities. It means choosing courage over repetition and aligning our action over avoidance, okay? It's about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. I just listened to this great inspirational talk on how we are born as children with purity and delight and joy, and then the world gets a hold of us and tells us how it should be and literally alters our traits. I went through a whole thing of looking way, way back and realized I was given some traits by a grandmother that weren't really mine. I luckily heard that voice inside me saying, that's not who you really are. Change it up. Change it up. But sometimes we don't hear that voice, do we? So that's what I ask you to ponder. Again, it's not about becoming somebody new. It's becoming more the whole of you, bringing it all out. You can ask yourself, why am I still carrying things that belong to a former version of me? I can grow. Just sit with it. Let it speak to you. Because I'm going to say you can't begin again until you tell the truth about the story you've been living. I listen to a lot of ladies' stories, and they are fascinating. And as they talk about it, truth starts unfolding. It's really an amazing process. So I ask that I keep my podcast short because I think that's how we keep the old lady out, right? You just get to the point. You don't belabor things. You just keep moving forward, however that looks appealing to you. But this year, I decided that I have been listening to a lot of ladies for a while, and there's a couple of things that I'm realizing that's happening to my ladies who really don't want to let that old lady in, and that is energy. They're lacking energy. So I'm really looking at energy this year, confidence building, increasing energy, a lot of little quick courses that I can help you with. But when we look at the truth of our story, we can start to look at shifting our identity a little bit from, a lot of times in midlife and beyond, we become less of, a caregiver. We have breaks in that. Maybe our kids are empty nester. We're not taking care of our parents yet. These are really amazing times to, yes, move through the feelings of that empty nest or the menopause, of all of that difficult things. Don't hang on to it too long. We want to move forward. We want to grow from it and learn from it and move up a level. So when you shift that energy, your life will respond. The more you shift, the more your life will respond. So think about how you can let a little more peace and hope into your life with a new short daily practice, whether that's an inspirational reading, prayer, meditation, gratitude. Meditation is my go-to for everything. You name it, it works. And I want to, before I give you a little teaser on the course and a guided meditation, I want to just tell you the words of Mary Davis, who is an amazing spiritual person and the author of Everyday Wisdom. She says, and I wish this for you too, on this beginning of 2026, you may have more light than you know, more guidance than you believe, more love than you can imagine, and more wisdom than you dream. Hook on to that one, ladies. And now just a quick plug. After listening to ladies all year and the energy and all that, and people say to me, how do you get all that energy? I was like, well, I just keep working on it, and it's not necessarily physical. It's also emotional and spiritual. So it's the whole body wellness that we go after, but people want more energy. So I have created a new little mini course called Energy Reset Formula, and it's really about doubling your energy without pumping that caffeine in you every day, all day, and doing some sort of 5 a.m. miracle morning that you have no interest in doing. But it's really ready for women. If you're ready to survive, or I should say survive through your old stories and thrive today, this is for you. Come home to yourself this way. And I'm going to share more soon, but I really am dedicated. I have a big container course, a signature course, and it takes about 3 months, but that's a big commitment. So I decided this year I'm going to give you short, bingeable courses that are low ticket, low cost, that are pre-recorded. I just did a couple of them, and that you can just get in there and learn from it. And there's a booklet you can do along with it. I can also offer, a coaching session along with it, just to go over it. And I'm also opening a women's sacred wellness circle to have. I think when we go and do this work, it's good to do this work as a group. So that will be coming out soon. So keep an eye out now. I'm going to start that. January is my pondering month. So February 1st, we're going to hit the ground running, ladies. We're going to hit the ground running. You're going to come on board, and we're going to do these courses and hop into the ladies group, because that's where you really will cement in all these changes. So for now, ladies, let this episode be your permission slip. You are not too late. You are not behind, and you are absolutely not done. I thank you for letting me be here with you. This is my, 31st podcast. I just started last year, and it's been awesome. I love doing them. I hear great feedback. I'm glad to be out there helping you. But remember, we don't want to let that old lady in. She's not wise. She's just familiar. So if you want to hang on, I'm going to do this bonus for you. It's a guided meditation. Come home to yourself. So if you want to hang on for this, just relax in your chair. Feet on the ground. Ground those feet to Mother Earth. Take a nice deep breath in. Take that deep breath in. Hold it for a short second or two, and then let it go. And as you let it go, blow out the old lady. Blow out stress. Blow out overwhelm. And bring your awareness into your body. Notice where you may be holding tension. Places that have been carrying some old stories, old expectations, old roles. And silently say to yourself, I no longer need to carry what no longer belongs to me or serves me. Now ask gently, what part of me has been waiting to be acknowledged? There's no forcing here, just listening. Imagine yourself placing down the identities that once protected you but no longer fit. Feel your body respond as space opens. And say quietly, I choose truth over familiarity. I choose alignment over comfort. I choose to come home to myself. Take one more deep breath, and when you're ready, come on back. And I'm going to leave you with this quote from Rumi, which is wonderful. It says, a little while alone in your room will prove more valuable than anything else that could ever be given to you. So ladies, I'm going to leave you with that. If you can turn loneliness, I worked on this several years ago, it is so worthwhile. If you can turn loneliness into the gift of the joy of solitude, you're making some serious progress. I work with women doing that a lot because it's hard. This is not easy work. So think about joining the group when that opens up. Think about the course. But in the meantime, don't let that old lady in. Stay well, stay vibrant, stay joyful, and stay healthy. And reach out if you need anything.